What is going on, Headliner Nation? Welcome back to the Draft.com studios. Myself and Kyle are coming at you today with another weekly Dream Team selection. We did this last week, had some good traction with it. A lot of people enjoyed this product. Coming to you from the Draft.com app, and if you haven't tried it yet, you definitely need to. This is kind of like a DFS contest, but you don't have to worry about salaries or anything like that on any other platform. You come in, you pick whatever players you want in whatever matchups you want, enter a tournament, and it's a lot of fun. Kyle, have you built your dream team here for the week?
I have, because Jake, this weekend for DFS, we about ready to make it rain dollar bills, y'all. That's right.
Wow. Kyle is making it rain in the studio. That's impressive. Well, hey,
It's super late.
that's right. So, yeah, we're kind of borderline delirious at this point, but we're having fun with it. So, if you're unfamiliar with draft.com, head over there. Make sure you sign up for a new account. If you make a deposit for $10 or more, they're going to give you a free $3 entry, but make sure you use the promo code HEADLINERS. Once you do that, look us up, both myself and Kyle on draft. I'm TFH Jake, Kyle KRich1532. And follow us on draft. We'll follow you back. So whenever we do one of these live drafts, we can invite some of our followers to come in and draft against us, or invite to different tournaments. Make sure you're a part of that. You don't want to miss out, but make sure you use that promo code HEADLINERS. But for now, let's get into our Week 1 Dream Teams. And Kyle, we're going to start off with the quarterback position. Who's your quarterback dream teamer this week?
Well, I have to talk about my quarterback and one of my running backs in tandem. So do I have permission to do that?
Whatever you want to do, Kyle.
On your time. So my quarterback is Josh Allen, but I also need to say that one of my running backs, because you can pick two running backs, one of my running backs is Frank Gore. Now, the reason that I am stacking these two this weekend against the Cincinnati Bengals is because they are giving up over 40 points per game to opposing running backs right now. Devin Singletary is going to be out this week. So because of that, I think that we might see Josh Allen pick up his game on the ground a little bit. He's offered you some upside on the ground to begin with. I mean, not great. Nothing like last year when he was rushing for 100 yards and scoring. He's been all right on the ground so far, but this might be the week where we see a lot of mass numbers on the ground between him and Gore, some run pass options. Gore's not going to carry every single ball, and if the Bills are able to get out ahead, you could see more and more of that happening. So I think that these two paired together in this type of a stack could be a huge play for fantasy owners this weekend.
And make sure you're looking at it from a DFS perspective. I mean, yes, these are dream teams. Could we go out there and take the Zekes and Kamaras and Barkleys? Yeah, you can, but a lot of people are. You're trying to find those names a little bit farther down the list that have that huge upside to kind of separate yourself. So if they do have a good game, you're basically in the money. So that's why a lot of people are saying, why the heck are we talking about Frank Gore on a dream team in 2019? That's partially the reason behind it. So now that Kyle's gone ahead and done two of his, I'm only going to, I guess I have to do two of mine. So I'll go with my quarterback and my first running back. Otherwise, the flow of the show is going to be completely messed up. For me, I got my quarterback of Jimmy Garoppolo, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's giving up 24.9 points to opposing quarterbacks, the fifth worst in the NFL, and now we're starting to see the likes of Deebo Samuel kind of take over in that offense. We know George Kittle is going to be there, Marquise Goodwin, the big play threat, and now all of a sudden the trio of running backs, which is different than what we thought the season would have, of Matt Breida, Raheem, I'm not quite a must-start, Mostert, and Jeff Wilson Jr. all involved in a running game and a passing game that could really boost the numbers of Jimmy G. Love the matchup. He's going to be my quarterback this week because I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on Jimmy G here in week 3. All right, but I broke the rules a little bit for the running back position. I didn't really skimp on the running back position, and Kyle didn't either for his second place, since he kind of went a little risky there with Frank Gore. My number 1 running back is Ezekiel Elliott, which is also going to be Kyle's number 2. Why did we pick Ezekiel Elliott in week 3? It's pretty simple. He's playing the Miami Dolphins, and they suck at all things NFL in 2019. They can't do anything right in Miami. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, well, what happens if they get a big lead? Cool. That means Zeke's going to be running more throughout the game. And don't forget, he wasn't involved in the preseason. The first 2 weeks of the season has basically been training camp for Zeke Elliott. I expect him to really get going this week. A heavy dosage of Zeke on the ground. He's going to be my number 1, Kyle's number 2. But for my number 2, I'm going to go with David Johnson. So I'm going back-to-back studs here for my running backs. I love David Johnson going up against the Carolina Panthers in Carolina, a Carolina defense which just gave up a very, very good game on the ground to Peyton Barber. And Peyton Barber sucks as a running back. So the fact that they could give up a few points to him really leads me to believe that they can move the ball down the field this week. David Johnson going to be involved not only on the ground, but in the passing game. Being that this is a PPR situation, David Johnson is my RB2. I think gives me that safe, position flexibility to where I have huge ceilings with both players.
All right, moving on to wide receivers now. And kind of like I did with Frank Gore, I picked someone that's going to have a lower ownership percentage, but have a very high ceiling to go along with some of those larger named guys on this slate. I'm going to go with two wide receivers who are facing opposing defenses that are giving up more than 50 points per game to opposing wide receivers. Mike Evans against the New York Giants, Stephon Diggs against the Oakland Raiders. Both of them have tremendous upside, but with lower ownership percentages. Mike Evans, a lot of people are trying to jump off that bandwagon right now. Understandably why. Hasn't been great, but keep in mind in week 1, he dealt with the flu, some flu-like symptoms heading into the week. In week 2, he also had a game that was on Thursday night, some weather to go with it that made the field a little sloppy. This is still a guy that has plenty of upside, and this is going to be the week that he breaks out. I think he's going to have a huge week this week. I'm definitely going to go with him. And with Stephon Diggs, he had a huge play last week. Kirk Cousins, it was the second longest air yards pass in the NFL last week. So even though they haven't been throwing it a ton, Kirk Cousins still has the arms. He can still play with anybody in the NFL at quarterback. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that. However, he can still run this offense if he gets the volume. But Diggs doesn't need the volume. He can have a couple of big plays, one big touchdown to really return that value. So I'm going to bank on him scoring a long touchdown this week and a little bit of extra volume to go with it as well.
Yep, absolutely. And I think we both like one game here. I mean, you just talked about Mike Evans and lengthen the amount of points that the New York Giants give up. So I'm going to kind of stick with that same kind of mantra there. I'm going with Chris Godwin. I like Chris Godwin just as much in this offense this week, going up against the New York Giants. He's, in my opinion, a top 10 play this week as far as redraft leagues goes. Chris Godwin's been playing great and really been helping fantasy players here for the first 2 weeks of the season. And I'm also going to play it safe with the second one. I'm going Keenan Allen. Don't forget, this is a half PPR format, so you want to rack up those receptions also. Keenan Allen is almost basically a lock on a weekly basis, as long as he stays healthy, for 10-plus targets a week. There's talks there with Mike Williams going and taking a step forward. Is he 100% healthy? Last week he was dealing with some back issues, came out and still looked fine on the field, but what do we get out of him this week? It all depends, but Phillip Rivers' number one target, it's going to be Keenan Allen. It's a safety blanket for him, and if he can go in there and get you right around 8 to 10 receptions, is a definite solid player here from the wide receiver position. Chris Godwin with that little bit of an upside, and the points for both of these teams could be, through the roof. And remember, once again, this is not just redraft format. This is more of a DFS style play. You're looking for those huge high upside games. The games going against these poor defenses. That's what we're looking at, and that's what you should be looking at also. So once again, go check out Dream Team. It's a lot of fun to kind of pick and choose whoever you want to. If you've done draft before, you may be used to the snake style format of drafting, but picking a team with whatever players you want to, getting multiple teams out there, it's a lot of fun. Me and Kyle do this on a weekly basis. So if this is something you're interested in, go over to draft.com, sign up for a new account, make sure you use that promo code Headliners, make a $10 deposit, and come draft against us on a weekly basis. We would love to do that with Headliner Nation. The channel's going like crazy. All the support is amazing, and draft.com is just another tool. Kyle and I both really enjoy it, don't you, Kyle?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Kyle's always drafting. I'm always getting invites from Kyle to draft. Kyle will draft at a wedding reception. That's what Kyle will do.
Yep, I did.
Guilty. He did it. All right, well, hey, go check it out. We're not going to take too much of your time today. Enjoy your week 3 fantasy football, and we will talk to you guys later.